Hey everybody, it's Ominous for episode 182. Look how far we've gone of Ominous Designs here on Responsible Gaming. So, it's been a second. Let's look at the cards from last week with their gorgeous illustrations. It's been a little bit, so let me remember. Erotic Cannonade. Oh yeah, there was the pun episode. When life gives you cannons, you make cannonade. So this was poorly worded. Deals 5 damage to target creature you control and 3 damage to target creature you control unless you attack with a creature this turn. I think if I remember well, the idea was you separate the wording into deals 5 damage to target creature, and then you do red also deals 3 damage to your creature unless you control to your target creature unless you attack. Yeah, a couple comments. I think a bunch of people were thinking that's a little too powerful, which I still not quite sure I agree to. Sorcery speed for 2, and then it's a little awkward that you need a target on your side of the board. We're not gonna just dive to the bottom of this. You can always check out Reddit and see for yourself all the comments. We also have Canonical Strike, and that I think basically I didn't get feedback on. People were too enthusiastic about the previous one, but you can see now the illustration, kind of funny looking. 3 damage target creature, and with red you can pay 2 more, and if you do, you draw a card. Why not? Seems pretty pricey, so that should be kind of limited playable and not particularly constructed focused. Today, the episode is called Meet Damage. I was just about to call this episode Netrunner, which is the other one of the other, I assume, card game originally created by Richard Garfield, who created Magic. He moved on to other things, the same he did for Magic. But this in Netrunner, you are kind of either a hacker or a corporation. And this is what we're going to theme the cards of the day around. And the reason is the first design is actually something that I decided would be called 1-2 new card null pointer. So obviously it doesn't have to be so. So this is a dev. Jargon. This is a code, no pointer. It doesn't have to be that goofy and specific, but I figured that could be a good topic, and it's actually fitting pretty well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make an instant. I get to assume it's gonna be a blue instant. I don't know quite yet. The cost and something along the lines of. Let's see. So in my idea, well, maybe no. We'll just do change the target of all. How do we word this? I could do this something like this. I'm gonna have to look up some other cards. Everything that could target this thing targets. You know what? Let's look it up right away. So we're gonna go to Gatherer, and we're gonna look at. Is it a banneret? No, it's not a banneret. It's a bearer. God damn it, I don't remember the flag bearer. Bearer. This is a I only know the French version of those things, so that's kind of annoying. There you go. While chooses target as part of casting a spell activating ability, I must choose at least one of flag bearer if one on the battlefield if able. This is complex, isn't it? So my idea was to change the target of all current spells to this particular spell. So let's have a look at misdirection then. We'll get a better idea of what we should be doing. You make change the target of target spell with a single target. So what we can do is change the target of all spells with no pointer. And well, how do you say change the target of target spell with a single target? Interesting. I'm wondering how the protection for how it still has to be legal. I wonder how this is how this resolves, how this is explained in the rules. So let's say you go and see a spell kite. It's Spellskite. Change a target of target spell ability to Spellskite. So what is the target spell won't change and the spell fulfills the targeting criteria. Okay, so apparently cards can say change their target, and then you still have to handle yourself the legality of the targeting, which is surprising. I'm surprised there is not a better there's not a better handling of those cases. But I guess that's the way it goes. So let's say it works. So change the target of all spells with no pointer, and I mean, screw that. In my version, we add if able because I mean, if able is not really something you don't describe players by saying if able. You describe a creature usually attacking. So actually, that's kind of a broken way of saying it. Screw that. I don't know. Apparently, the wording doesn't enforce legality. You just have to check it on the side. So we're not doing it. So this is kind of fun to begin with. Though it will most likely only counter spells. And because the things that target spells are only copies and misdirections and counter spells for the most part. I'm sure there's a couple other things. So that's not going to do a ton, but create so let's see, let's check out a pirate. I need template for creating an artifact. So create, are you for real? There's no looter that creates gold. Damn it. Treasure. It's not gold, it's treasure, which is also annoying. Why it's not gold? I guess for flavor, but I wish it was gold. I feel like gold will be more evergreen than treasure, but I guess it's not quite that obvious. So I'm gonna copy this, which is the template for creating gold, and collector create a colorless I guess, I don't know, pointer, we'll see, artifact token with oh crap, this really want to be, so this is going to attract spells too, but I feel like this is going to be I feel like this needs to be a creature, right? Otherwise only things that can target artifacts and permanents are going to be targeting it, which is so hey, how about it's a bug? Get it? God, how do you do a colorless Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's see. We're gonna look at creating a golem token. New create a33. So we're gonna copy this, and we're gonna go. Whoops. We're gonna go create a token. It's gonna be a bug artifact. It's gonna be a 01. Call as bug artifact creature token with. And now we're gonna come back and get so was it the flag bearer? Crap. Yeah, there you go. It's a bit of a pain, isn't it? With, and it's gonna be saying this. Yeah, it's a little wordy. Flag bearer. And that is the name. This is not the type. Well, actually, crap. Artifact creature token with. So wait. I'm confused right now. Are creature tokens not having a type? They do have a type, right? Oh, interesting. I should know that. Yeah, they have a type, but their type is the name, right? No, token is not. Token. Yeah, it's. Why is this so confusing? It's because. Yeah, like how is the God, I have a hard time. Let's do an advanced search for red creature that says rule text create, that is red, that is a creature, and the expansion is Ixalan? No, is it Ixalan, or that's actually Kaladesh with the monkey lady? I don't even. I'm so not in the current standard. Oh, I hate. Why Gather? Why are you like this? Format. Kaladesh. No? Yes. That I don't even know what edition this card is from. Kurizev creates a legendary 2/1 red monkey. So you name. Oh, that's what it is. You name the creature type, and unless you specify the name is creature type only. So when you create a goblin, its name is goblin, but by default that's the creature type. Okay, so when I say, and it's kind of different for artifacts, but yeah, well, how is that for artifacts again? The treasure. So treasure, yeah, says treasure artifact token. Okay. Cool. Well, that's good, and that's a new card type, so it's not like it's gonna create synergies with anything else. I need a capital here. What else? I think that's about it. This is a one-time thing, so it's not the biggest deal ever, and you can basically nullify a spell, or nullify a kind of another targeting spell, and it's something that targets one of your permanents / creatures at the same time as you nullify something that targets one of your spells. It's purely flavor driven, I'll be honest. That being said, you can always make this into a save one of your things, so why not make this into also save a spell for whatever reason, be it flavor. I'm trying to justify this card way too much, but this is the idea, right? It's cute. It's cute. Don't tell me it's not cute, because it's cute. So how much does this cost? Misdirection allows you to blow out your opponent by just, when the spell is has a negative effect, instead of doing it to you, they're going to do it onto them, which is double trouble. This only says, okay, do it to me instead, which means it's basically a counter spell. It's going to prevent your opponent from countering your spells. It's going to prevent your opponent from redirecting your spell, so it's countering their misdirection, and it's gonna cause them to, oh my god, what do you do if you put this to a copy spell? That's probably horrible, isn't it? So somebody's copying a spell, you cast no pointer, they end up pointing to the to no pointer, so they copy it. At this moment, they become a spell that says everybody targets me, which, oh god, this is giving me a headache, which means the no pointer that was preventing the copy. Oh wait, so resolution of the spell. This is entirely too complicated, but let's do it anyways. So stack. Spell that's being targeted, copy spell, null pointer. Nobody answers? Cool. Null pointer resolves, copy goes to null point. The copy actually copies the null pointer. Now you, instead of having copied the spell that you were originally copying, you copy a null pointer that says target me. So it does nothing, because the thing that you were targeting originally probably wasn't copying a spell. Therefore, the copy, when you made your opponent copy a null pointer instead, they find themselves with a spell that is a null pointer and is useless to them. Fun. Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure we're not creating an endless loop of misdirection or whatever. That would have been kind of awkward. And creating something that's confusing when combined with fork effect, a duplicate, copy spell effect, it's just fine. That's not something that actually happens, and we know this is just overly complicated by design. So we have something that is a counterspell only for counterspells for copy effect and for misdirection effect. That's not good. So added to the fact that it also counters a another spell or activity or ability, I don't think it needs to be very costly. That being said, the fact that he can grab two spells, so counter spell, and then turn around and counter a just a like a lightning bolt on your creature, I'm thinking it probably cannot cost only 2. I'm thinking let's make it cost 3. I don't think it needs to cost more. I think it might be able to cost 2, because the fact is, the only way, this is a counter that only basically counter spells, so why don't you also so it's a very narrow counter spell, so the upside is you get also to counter the next target creature. No, it's too good. No, that would still be too good. Like the fact that I can say, well, I'm very narrow, but also I'm gonna counter the next lightning bolt, that's pretty sweet. Actually, I think he might even be 1 blue. And I just thought you probably want Defender on the bug. I don't know. I feel like he wouldn't be fair to allow you to kind of buff it somehow and then attack with it. It's not really not what it's made for. So that's fun. I think we make it into something that's justifiable. I really like the kind of the void, the just like swallow one spell kind of thing. If you don't want to go the Netrunner route with like kind of the computer kind of thing, you can do something made with void, and I'm sure that will like a black hole of sort. Which I actually reserve myself the right to switch at the very last minute and change the flavor of, based on basically the illustrations that I find. Because I still think it's a cool little theme for the episode of the day. By the way, I never went over this, but meat damage, I don't think I went over this. This is some hilarious thing to say in Netrunner. They have you have the web hacker in the virtual matrix web kind of world, and then you have like just peephole with their body, and if you just damage them, you give them meat damage. It's very very flavorful, very explicit. So we're gonna move on to card number 2. And this card, so this should be fun, albeit also very complex, or somewhat complex. So you do something like that. You do cause, choose one. No, choose 2. Then target opponent chooses 1. So, oh no, that doesn't work. So the idea is that we're gonna make a spell that has 4 modes, and you choose 2, and then your opponent choose which one of the 2 happens. The problem being that if I word it that way, it makes it sound like you choose 2 and then your opponent gets 1, which would also actually be interesting, but that's not what we were trying to achieve here. And I do think this wording makes it look that way. So this is very annoying to word. You know, like, what do I say? Choose 2, then target opponent choose 1 of those 2. And well, I guess when I say chooses 1 of those 2, it makes it clearer that you're not. Well, it doesn't really make it that clear. At least it makes it clear that you don't choose 2 and then they choose another one for themselves. They're gonna choose between your 2, which makes it a little clearer that it's related to your choice that you make for yourself. And also, there is no way the card resolves, and even if they pick something, basically you would choose 2 and they would choose a third one, and the 3 would resolve for you, because it's not because they chose something that your card, when it says draw a card, is going to end up affecting them as if they control the spell, right? So there shouldn't be any way for this card to say do XYZ. Now, other problem, no, it should be fine. I was going to say the other problem would be targets. What is the ruling on if one of the choices are target creature does something? What if they pick this thing? Do they pick the target as well? And that's not the case. In casting a spell, what you do is you choose the modes, then you announce the targets. Actually, it's confusing. Now we need to install a step in which when you choose the modes, the opponent intervenes, and that's within the steps of casting a spell, which I'm not certain has been done before. Boy, are we breaking grounds this week. This is complex. So one of the solutions for this is we could try and make it so that there is no target, but that wouldn't be handy at all. That wouldn't be practical at all. So let's see. Let's just pretend targeting is okay. Now I need to find one of my previous mortal spells. There you go. Copy. So what could we do? Actually, I don't know why I thought this would be I guess I thought it would be blue because complex, mortal, cryptic command and whatnot, but you could just make it black, which is kind of a cool browbeat color. Red is also a good browbeat color, and browbeat being the first card, I think one of the first card ever where you give your opponents the choice between something bad and something worse. So I think those would be interesting. Yeah, why not? So let's see. In black, but not blue, what would we do? We would do target player sacrifices a creature. We would do, where's my dot? We would do target player loses 3 life. Why not? 3 life is not a ton. We would do, just gonna copy those two. So what now? There you go. And we would do weird. Target player discards a card. Talk about not having targets in this spell, huh? Discards a card, and then we would do. Well, it's. What are the downsides? Can this be a downside as well? Oh shit! This is chooses 2, then target opponent chooses one of the 2, which means. Yeah, that's actually harder to make good, especially if you do 2. If there's only 1 at the end, like this is just a spell, and you're gonna go, well, I want to make them choose between creature and life, and they choose whichever bothers them the less. Like it's hard to make the choice hard for them. But just before I think about this, what are the downsides in black? Targeting a creature by killing it, making somebody lose life, making somebody discard a card. There's not that much you can do, right? I just want to, just for aesthetic purpose, I want it to be something that's not a downside, that's not an upside for the caster, but something that's a downside for the target of the spell, and that's not easy. There could be Mill, but Mill is just so underpowered. What is something that you could truly bother them with? That's the other thing. Like, Oh well, I'm gonna create a death touch, sure, because I can't really think of anything that would be better. Yeah, I can't really think of a downside like that's strong enough. You could reanimate one of their creature, but that sounds pretty intense. That being said, there's only one effect that's gonna happen. So what if I try and make this a very powerful card, like something like this. Target player discard 3 cards. Target player loses 5 life. Target player destroyed? No, target 2 creatures. 2 creatures. And it's probably up to 2 creatures, is it? I forgot. Looking it up. I'm not switching screen. Bear with me. Well, I don't know why. Why not? Isn't there a pit? I almost have the name. Well, let's look up 2. Say what now? No, that's not what I wanted to do. That is certainly not what I wanted to do. What is going on here? There you go. Whoa, not what... Huh? A lot of stuff has happened that I don't know what it is. Let's just hide this. I have no idea what happened. Yes, so I was trying to do... sacrifice 2 creatures. Up and tap, no? There you go. Sacrifice 2 creatures, so it's not an up 2. Okay, well, never mind. Okay, loses 5 life, and then Reanimator spell. So, therefore, the opponent has the opportunity to choose between the 2 that you pick, but they are all very powerful, so you can do a better job of picking 2 that they're really going to have trouble with. So, Reanimation... really? That's not what it is? Reanimate. Reanimate. Put target creature under your control. Put target creature card from... yeah, why not? A graveyard. We're not even restricting it. So this would probably cost something like easily 5. So it's still a spell that gives a choice to your opponent, but the choice is quite a bit worse. And you can always choose either you sacrifice 2 creatures, or I reanimate something. Which now I would say those are the best options, because unless you're in a case where losing 5 life or discarding 3 cards matters, but that's kind of on you to have made happen. In the most general sense, sacrificing 2 creature or reanimating something are going to be the more powerful, and the question becomes, if you always propose this and you always get either, how much should that cost? Knowing that you're still gonna be getting the less good, because it's your opponent who chooses it, but they're probably gonna... So either there is nothing in graveyards to reanimate, or they're okay, or they think, well, you're gonna get a 4/4 or 5/5, but that's what it is. You paid 5 mana anyways. I'm not sacrificing 2 creatures, or they're gonna have 2 creatures to sack easily, and they're gonna go with that because there's something that's way too good on the battlefield. So it might not be that good, because basically, if I'm taking the limited approach, they're not gonna be something too crazy in the yard that makes your opponent choose to sacrifice 2 creatures. Instead, they're gonna go reanimate something. I don't care. You paid 5, get that 6 drop. It's okay. And in fact, most reanimator spells are 5-6 mana. So you can make it cost 5, and it only ever happens when it's the less optimal play for you because your opponent chose. Now, sacrificing, actually that's a good way of looking at a browbeat. You say, is 5 a good thing, a good price to make your opponent sacrifice 2 creatures, knowing that it's always when it's not the best option? maybe. I mean, I feel like this for 6 would be just not cool. I don't think it would be good. So I don't know. I think that might be an okay balance. It's definitely something to play a lot with, especially since this is 4 modes. You make a choice, your opponent makes a choice. It's become the less powerful of the most powerful that you could pick. It's a mess. So definitely something to be playing with. But I think it's definitely an interesting concept. And again, you know, I make a card. I'm trying to illustrate a concept that I came up with. The concept is pick 2, let your opponent pick which one of the 2 happens. You could do anything with this. You can do a blue card, a green card, red card, white card. This is really the concept that matters. So I'm sure we could pick something kind of more powerful or more well suited, but the concept is there. I think it's very interesting to look at. That's it. That's our second card. Come back next time to see the illustrations and the flavor. I will be posting them very soon on Reddit, as it's written in the corner over there. Custom Magic on Reddit. I'll be posting under Ominous with a little Ominous flair, or between brackets, whatever, who cares. Twitter, sure, why not. YouTube, that's definitely the best place to look at the Ominous Designs videos. And then follow me on Twitch if you ever want to bug me as I design my cards. This is definitely the best way to interact. The couple times that I've been designing alongside with people were pretty fun. And it's much easier than giving feedback after the fact. That is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time for 183. Until then, play responsibly.